Hi, my name is Dan. Sorry about the beard. I had to sneeze this morning. You don't believe me? Watch this. See what I mean? As a puppeteer, I've had to use different elements of my life, and I found that the way that I can get into a character is doing him properly, honestly, and using parts of the life that I've already lived in order to be as honest as possible. For example, when I was little, I wasn't always right.
I was watching that Titanic movie the other day. I saw it 7 times. Oh, the thing kept boom, hitting the iceberg, boom, hitting the iceberg. And I kept yelling at my TV, stop, there's an iceberg. Man.
A few years later, I don't know, I saw the good in everything.
The other day I was walking down the street, minding my own business, and I had an ice cream cone in my hand. It was delicious. And then someone, boom, knocked it right out of my hands. And I said, great, that's wonderful. I can share it with the ants.
The older I got, the more I would question absolutely everything.
There are 3 things I've learned in life. The older you get, the more you forget. Number 2, you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. And number 3, oh man, I forgot it.
As a normal person, you get hurt. And with that hurt, you feel that maybe the whole world is unfair.
I never get nothing. Never get nothing. Never get nothing. Never get nothing. I never get nothing. You guys are probably going to cut this out, right? See, I told you I never get nothing.
We learn from the difficult stuff in life, and then we use that to actually help others.
You know what? I know it's hard right now, but the best thing that you can do is find someone who needs a friend and walk with them. It'll be cool. It's worked for me.
When I was a kid, I was bullied and shunned and laughed at, made fun of, beat up. I know I look gigantic right now, but when I was a little kid, I was a little kid. So I know how hard it can be. The one thing that you have to keep in mind is that you're never alone. God's always there. Hebrews 13:8. You guys know that. You've been studying it. God's the same. He's always the same. He's just and he's righteous and he's there with you and he's there for you, especially in those difficult times. Trust me, I know. There were times that I just wanted to give up. But I found people around me who could be friends, who could be family, and they helped me get through that. They can help you too. You're surrounded by a church family. You're surrounded by people who love and care about you. And they're really seeing who you are, who God made you to be, perfectly.
Oh, now something completely random.
Oh boy.
Look, guys, I've been different my whole life. I'm a puppeteer. I'm an artist. I'm a voiceover guy. And God has used me in very unique ways. See, I wasn't born like everyone else. Sometimes I get really angry with God. And sometimes I wouldn't talk to him, you know? You know, when you don't want to talk to your parents or your friends or your siblings, I turned my back on God. But because he's constant, he was always there. He was always there waiting. He was always there with his arms open, ready to take me in. It's like when you go to the beach. God is the sand on the shore. He's the rock that's always there. And we're like the waves that Sometimes we back away from God and we come back, and then we go, and then we come back. He's constant. It's our job to try to embrace God, because He's always ready to embrace you. Because I was so different, I had a yearning, a thirst for things like love and mercy and compassion and understanding, equality, empathy. And when you're thirsty for those things, and God opens up the faucets, and He fills you with all of those things, you're able to freely give that away to other people who need it. Because you've survived the challenges that happen here on earth with the help and the strength of God and the love and compassion of those around you, you're able to help someone else who's walking through that and say, hey, I had that same problem. Let me tell you how it helped me. Let me tell you how God helped me. It's a huge difference. And you're stronger because of it.
Hold on to your hats for something completely random.
I ain't gonna take this here hose, gonna put it right out there. I ain't gonna take it over, gonna put it in the lake, and there, up right there. We're gonna drain this here lake. All right, Chester, what you doing?
Filling up the lake.
Oh, Lord.
You know, when I was a kid, they told me the story of David and Goliath, and everyone always hears that story. You know, David went from a poor shepherd boy to the king. It didn't happen the moment that he beat Goliath. That was the start of his story. The start of his story was really tough. He was anointed, and God was positioning him, but he wasn't ready to be a king when he was a kid. He was ready after years and years of being on the run, with hundreds of men behind him following. God was taking this raw block of stone and chiseling. You know how hard it is to break rock? Chiseling a king out of this raw material and polishing him up and getting him ready to image God, to be a man after God's own heart, running after God. The same way that we run after our parents when we're kids. We're going to reach and get him, grab their hands.
Meanwhile, in the woods.
Behold the majesty of nature's wonder. The trees. Oh, it makes you want to leave city life behind and never look back. Yeah. Brother, if I don't find Wi-Fi reception soon, I'm gonna maul somebody. Man, the forest makes me turn into an animal.
We're all different. Some of us are taller, shorter, or wider, or thinner, or louder, or quiet. Some of us have abundant hair here. Some of us have abundant hair here. Some of us are long-winded and can speak for hours. Others of us are short-handed and they can't grab anything. But you're perfect. Trust me. It may not feel like that, but you are. Throughout my day, throughout my life, I've seen little pieces of God in people. I've seen little sparks. Of a twinkle in God's eyes. A moment of love and tenderness that no one else will see. I've seen the humanity in people. God's light lives in each and every one of us in different little ways. And on their own, they're pretty fantastic. once we come together and we support each other, God's light expands and explodes and it becomes bright. Shine God's light. Be uniquely you, the way that God has made you to be.
Even if you're different.
I'm an engineer. Woo woo!
That ain't YouTube.
What?
Matthew 5:14 through 16 says, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In that same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." They don't want to see your good deeds to say, "Dude, you're so cool." They want to glorify God. The things that we do glorify Him. We're His representatives out here. We work for our Father. And we take care of our brothers and sisters.
Take care of each other. And watch out for raccoons.
You don't need mesh armor.
Oh, yeah? Try me. Throw something at me. Go on.
Are you sure about this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, peaches.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Are you okay?
No!
I'm-
I just had a raccoon get thrown at me.
You asked me to throw something at you.
Well, you said, but I didn't think it was going to be a raccoon.
Sorry, are you okay?
Yes, ow, that
Oh,
hurts.
I'm sorry. Hey, so what did we learn?
Your trash can is flawed.
The same God who made the gigantic and beautiful mountains, the dense and rich forests with all of the animals, the same God who made the mighty rivers and the oceans with giant whales and
Tiny little bitty jellyfish.
that same God who painted the stars in the sky also brought something very unique. And He made something very unique and He put it on this earth. And the last thing that He made, check it. Check this out. Come here. Was you. God loves you. Be good. Do well. And create. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. I love you all. Even though I don't know you, I love you. God bless you.